Positive energy all the time. Eat to live, don't live to eat. Health is wealth, so take care of yourself. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the economy. And the economy is really looking a little wishy washy. Hopefully, this live stream won't be nothing that actually comes true, but you never know. But even if you might be going through some economical changes, things might be happening for you. Maybe you're changing jobs. Maybe you're a family of four. Maybe the husband is out of work. Maybe the wife is out of work. Maybe there's some medical situations. It's kind of messing up with your money. And you might have to cut back or find a better way to save money. Now, one thing that people say a lot, they say that a plant-based way of eating is expensive, which is absolutely false. It could be true. It could be false, depending on what you're eating. But overall, that's false because you can get plenty of food that's inexpensive and healthy. So I just wanted to go through some situations to show you how to not spend so much money and still eat very healthy. Because you actually can eat healthy without spending a lot of money. And it's really not that difficult. You just have to watch how you cook and prepare your food in a way that's less expensive, but still get all the nutrition and all the health, everything you want out of it. So the cheapest foods family can buy are staple grains like rice and pasta, legumes such as dried beans, and versatile produce like potatoes and seasonal vegetables. Now, these can make up the bulk of a lot of your meal, can fill up the meal. Okay? These items can help the meal be nutritious and still have a lot of food. So things like rice and things like that are really good to be able to feed a bigger family, or if it's just you and your woman, or if it's just you can really save a lot of money and still get the nutrition that you want to get. Rice and pasta, you can buy in bulk for the best value. Brown rice offers more fiber than white rice, but you can get the basmati rice, you can get the jasmine rice, which is good for you too. Potatoes and sweet potatoes, very inexpensive and can be prepared in many ways, such as mashed, roasted, or baked. It's a fill-in. Oatmeal is a fill-in, and it's a cheap option for breakfast. So oatmeal is always great to have around. Rice and pasta, potatoes and sweet potatoes. This could help you save money and still eat nutritiously. Dried beans and lentils. They're extremely cheap and can be used in many different dishes in many different ways. This is what you have so that when you do have your vegetables, you don't have to spend so much money trying to consume the most expensive vegetables, the most expensive side dishes. You always want to bulk up your plate with your beans, your rice, your lentils, and things like that. You always want to do that. Then food that's seasonal is always cheaper. All right. So buying produce that's in season is often cheaper and more flavorful. Canned vegetables. These can be cheaper than fresh and have a longer shelf life. So if you're really going through poverty or a bad situation, you want to cut back. Okay. If you're going through something, then you're going to have to uh, eat out of a can. It is better to go and switch your vegetables and beans and stuff out of a can than it is to go to cheap meats and cheeses and things that could make you sick. And the last thing you want to do when you're struggling financially is to get a medical burden, a medical expense. Okay? Carrots, potatoes, and sweet potatoes are usually very affordable. So if you're going through a hard time under this failing economy, you got to know how to cut back and save money. You can buy bulk, okay? Grains, pasta, dry beans are much cheaper when brought in large quantities. So now you got enough food for a while. And always choose less processed options. Opt for whole grains and make sauces from scratch when possible and save money and reduce the sodium intake. Cook from scratch, making meals like sauces from basic ingredients like canned tomatoes, tomato paste, and spices is cheaper than buying a pre-made version. So, make your own ketchup. Make your own ketchup. Make your own sauces. Get your blender and blend up some tomatoes with some tomato paste and make your own things to put on your food to save money, okay? So now we're going to go through some foods that can help you save money, all right? This is valuable information. You might want to send this out to everybody. Times could get hard and you want to know what to do. One thing that you can buy that you can give your children and save money is apples. Apples are affordable, nutritious fruit to purchase year round. There's apples year round. They're rich in soluble fiber and immune supporting vitamins. So apples is a great thing to get. Apples. Okay? You can get a lot of apples for a little bit of money. And it's really good to start getting your children into the vibe of things like apples and fruit, right? Instead of candy. You don't want them to just be dependent on candy. And when you're going through hard economical times, The last thing you want to do is get sick. You don't want to get sick. That's just going to make things worse. So you don't want to get sick, no matter what. You don't want to get sick. So you still want to get the healthiest food that you can get. Okay? You want to get the healthiest food you can get. That's very important. Right? And apples is a great choice. Apples is a great choice. So if you want to cut back, you want to make it better for the children too, healthier for the children, then grab apples, especially when you see they're on sale or something like that. Okay? Another thing, bananas. Bananas, they get a bad rap for being high in sugar, but natural sugar in fruit is not a major concern for health. Bananas contain vitamin C, manganese, vitamin B6, and potassium, as well as antioxidants that support health. They also pack heart healthy fiber, typically under $1 per pound. They are the best deal in the produce department. Bananas, at the time that this was put together, are around 55 cents a pound at Kroger's. And that's the same price they were about a year ago or whatever. Bananas make a great snack on their own, but you can also slice them into oatmeal or make banana pancakes. So bananas are a good deal, and also bananas are heavy. They're heavy, so bananas are going to be great for making sure that the children are hungry again. Okay? That's going to prevent them from just being hungry, something on their stomach, and get them into those type of sweets rather than candy and cakes and stuff. That right now is way too expensive. Way too expensive. Now, what you got to remember with bananas is don't buy a lot of bananas at one time because they'll get too ripe. So maybe go and buy 6 or 8 bananas Monday that's really green, and wait till they start seeing the dots on them before you eat them, right? So always wait till you start seeing the little specks on them, and that's when they're their sweetest and softest and the most healthy. And the more spots they get on them, the better. But when they get too dark, they get kind of soft, and children ain't going to like them. So once you start seeing them get a little dots on them, then that's when you go to the store and get another bunch that's green, so that by the time those get eaten up, a day or so later, the next ones are ready. But if you buy them all at one time, you're going to have to eat too many to stop them from ripening, because you know they have to pick this fruit in tropical places. They have to freeze it. And so when they unthaw it and put it out on the shelves, it's going to ripen quicker than it would if you picked them that color off of the tree. Right? Red apples or green apples, it doesn't really make a difference. You know? Buy the ones that the children like or the ones you like the most, or the ones that's the cheapest. If we're doing this based on economy and you're trying to save money, then you're going to buy whichever ones give you the most apples for your money. Everything else goes out the window. Organic goes out the window. All that stuff goes out the window if you don't have any money. If you don't have any money, all that goes out the window. When it gets down to survival, then you start eating the most healthiest thing that you can get and that you can afford. You have to cut it back. Beans, legumes are one of the foods that we really should be eating every day. They provide protein, fiber, and help to enhance the microbiome, which means it helps keep our gut healthy. And this helps build the immune system, right? So beans are also very good, very good. And also, beans are also heavy on the stomach. And beans could be mixed with rice, right? So beans are very good, very, very important. Beans. Now, another thing is brown rice. Brown rice is excellent, but really, like I said, you could get basmati rice, right? Or jasmine rice too. A lot of times the children might not like brown rice. They might enjoy the basmati rice or the jasmine rice more. So you have to take into consideration what are the children going to eat if you're dealing with children. But if you're just adult and you're shopping for adult, you're going to eat it. It's not going to be a problem for you. You won't have no problem with it. So it won't be a problem for you, right? But this item is quick to make and can be added to many meals. It's also high in fiber and has important minerals such as magnesium, manganese, and manganese. If someone has celiac disease, rice is a great non-gluten option. Some people can't eat gluten. So brown rice is great if you can't eat gluten. It can help with appetite control due to the fiber content and may help with lowering cholesterol levels. And that's good to know because if you eat things that kind of calm your appetite down, that's going to also help you save money. Let's say it's a really bad situation. Well, if you eat things that cut your appetite, maybe you can eat twice a day rather than 3 times a day. You could spread it out. Okay? How much you'll spend on brown rice depends on where you shop and what sort of deals you can find. But you can generally purchase several pounds for just a few dollars. It's easy to cook hamburger and brown rice in a skillet and throw it in some frozen vegetables. Brown rice also goes well with burritos and with about any protein. So, a lot of times we eat the plant-based burgers. We don't eat the regular hamburgers. So if you go get some plant-based burgers, you'll be able to, or some plant-based meat. That's another way to save money because you can make the rice and you could chop up just like one patty and do like how the Chinese did to save money back when they built the railroad. That's where so-called American Chinese food come from because they would just chop up a little egg, chop up a little vegetables, chop up a little pieces of meat and put it with the rice. And it's mostly rice. And the men working on the railroad could still get full and still have something in the rice so it's not plain rice. So that's why rice is so great because you could put just a little bit of zucchini in the rice, just a little bit of onion in the rice, right? And now you could stretch a meal and have a decent meal because it's not just rice, but it's laced with little stuff. And that little stuff, you can make rice with those vegetables for weeks and save how much money? That's where onions come in at. Because if you're in a really die-hard situation, rice and onions is delicious. Trust me what I'm telling you. You can make some rice. Onions will save you. A bag of onions will save you because it'll give your food some flavor no matter what. Bell pepper is a little expensive, but still that'll work too because you can just cut up a third of a bell pepper today, a third tomorrow, a third the next day. Chop it up in there, chop some onions up in there. You could really make the meal taste way better with some onion and some bell pepper. A lot of times I'll make noodles, and one reason my noodles be good is because I'll fry up a little bit of onion and bell pepper. When the noodles get ready, I'll dump that in there and mix that in there, and it increases the taste of the food, and it makes it a lot more filling. It adds to how full you get off of it. Another thing you could get when you're trying to be economical, tortillas. Tortillas are made from whole grains, which are far healthier than refined grains. Wheat flours are not always a whole grain unless they say 100% whole wheat. So look for the ones say 100% whole wheat. Corn tortillas are also half the calories usually of wheat tortillas. And corn tortillas are cheap. You can find a 30 pack of corn tortillas at Walmart for about $2, around 6 cents per tortilla. So with the tortillas, once again, you can fool the children again. Some onion cut up in some stuff in the for tortillas. You got some potatoes there, chop them up, make some fries. The children is happy. Fries will save you. Baked potatoes, fries, potatoes is the thing. You want to save money, you're trying to eat healthy on the budget, potatoes is a win. Potatoes is always a win. Flour. Flour, it says here, flour may not be glamorous, but you can do a lot with it. And flour is about 56 cents per pound. Now, flour is great because with flour you can make sweets. They ain't put, okay, you can make sweets with flour. So you could take some flour and you can mix some flour up and you could bake a sweet, you could bake something sweet with flour. So flour, you could do a billion things. You could take flour and make some banana bread. You could take some flour and some bananas and make some banana bread, put some maple syrup in it, or honey if you're a vegetarian, not a vegan. If you're a vegetarian, because you know vegetarians use honey and stuff, but vegans don't. Vegans don't use any animal byproduct. You're not supposed to. Some do. Some of us do every now and then for medicinal purposes, right? And so you can make pancakes, bread pies, cookies, and cakes. You'll need another ingredient, but flour is a staple. Frozen berries. Frozen berries are also cheap and inexpensive. And those frozen berries can save you because if you got some flour and some berries, now you got cookies or muffins or whatever you want to make with it. Pancakes. So, I mean, you can cut corners. Frozen berries are a convenient and cost effective way to help you eat nutritiously. They're frozen at the peak of freshness, locking in their healthy goodness. Just like fresh blueberries, frozen blueberries are a good source of fiber and contain only 80 calories per cup. You can make jam too. And you can mix the blueberries with chia seeds. Now you really rocking and rolling. Okay? These are ways I'm showing you in case the economy gets bad, your job gets funny, you're in between jobs, you only got so much money, you got to go shopping. These are the items you want to get. You want to get a bag of potatoes. You want to get some sweet potatoes because you can eat, and if you can eat a third of a sweet potato every dinner. You don't even have to eat the whole one. It's so filling. So one sweet potato could get you through, could be part of 3 dinners. As long as you got other sides with it, you good to go. Because you just want that variety on your plate, just to taste that variety until you get full. Seriously. Now, another good thing, if you're going through financial hardship, you want to eat right frozen vegetables of all kinds are both affordable and nutritious, and they can serve as go-to when your pantry or refrigerator inventory is running low. Frozen vegetables are an especially good idea if not many fresh vegetables are in season. These options are just as nutritious as fresh, and you can get a lot more mileage out of them since they are stored in the freezer. These are ways that you can eat better because let me tell you something. When this economy, and if this economy keeps falling, there's going to be more vegans. More people are going to go vegan as this economy keeps getting worse because it's going to be more affordable and it's going to be healthier. And a lot of people might not keep wanting to pay this high health insurance. Your best health insurance is going to be to ensure you eat right. Right? Now, another thing that's great if you're on a budget, it's iceberg lettuce. A lot of times we overlook iceberg lettuce because we get romaine and we got kale and we got all of this. You see? And a sea of kale and red leaf lettuce. Don't overlook iceberg. Iceberg lettuce is not recommended a lot these days because the darker green lettuce and greens are favored due to their nutritious compounds. But iceberg lettuce is a vegetable, and if that's what you can afford, you shouldn't hesitate to buy it. So when you get in a tight situation, get what you can get. Get what you can get. Don't be picky. Still eat the best that you can eat at that budget. Don't just fall off. Cut back and get cheaper plant-based items to survive. Beans, rice, pastas, right off the top, flour, potatoes, right off the top. That way, everything else you buy is just garnishings to help it taste better. That's it. You want to get things like lentils. Lentils are a must if you're looking to stock up on cheap and healthy foods. They are very high in fiber and protein. They recommend buying dry lentils in the bag and not the can, just because they are so easy to cook. They take 10 to 15 minutes to cook, and they do not need to be pre-soaked before, right? And Walmart and them be having lentils cheap, and you can get these kind of things at the holiday. They're just giving them away, especially like right after Thanksgiving, right after Christmas. They have a sale, and they just be giving that stuff away because they got a lot of it, right? So you could totally replace meat with lentils. Now, mushrooms they got on here, but I wouldn't advise mushrooms because mushrooms do not last. Mushrooms don't last. Like when I buy mushrooms, if you don't cook them that day or the next day, they begin to brown, they begin to get spots on them. And I don't like them when they start to change in colors. So I'm not sure about mushrooms. I don't know much about storing mushrooms or freezing them. So in times of economic hardships, I would say I wouldn't say mushrooms because they're not gonna last. That's just me. They're not gonna last. Like I have to throw too many mushrooms away. And if you're struggling, you don't want to throw nothing away. Oats. Oats are hearty and with added spices can be delicious. Oats are good. You're going to get your protein. They're good if you're working out and exercise. They're a great source of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Whole oats have been shown to lower blood cholesterol levels, which helps to reduce cardiovascular disease risk. Plus, the fiber helps to slow glucose absorption, which is helpful for diabetes. A 42-ounce container of old-fashioned whole oats is currently goes for around $4 at Walmart, but sometimes you can get them for $3. Meal ideas: oatmeal cookies, and oatmeal bars are just a few budget-friendly ideas. You can make oat bread or use them in a homemade granola recipe and even search the internet for some oat-based dinner recipes like broccoli or oatmeal baked, right? Peanut butter. Peanut butter is another one. This classic nut butter is also a classic money saver. It lasts a long time. You can always find copious amounts of it sold in warehouse stores. And it's a crowd pleaser for those without allergies. You can certainly find jars for $4 or $5 or more. But if you don't want to go to the warehouse store, people places like Kroger's and stuff like that, they'll sell the 16 ounce for like $1.42, Walmart for $1.94, Target for $1.99. You know what I'm saying? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches naturally. If you like to cook, peanut butter also turns up as a supporting character in a lot of recipes such as sauces. So peanut butter is great. You get you some good, healthy whole wheat bread. Get you some big old jar of jelly, and you could. Children love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because the jelly is sweet, and you can really uh, save money with that. Pasta. Pasta is versatile and inexpensive. Pasta is a party staple in many conscious shoppers that's trying to save money. Dietitians say pasta has plenty of beneficial nutrients too. Thanks to the versatility of pasta, you can pair the dish with a variety of inexpensive ingredients, including frozen vegetables. Potatoes. Potatoes is another thing that you want to get if you're trying to be on a budget with these economics is going on, right? Potatoes are full of nutrients, providing 3% of your daily nutrition value of vitamin C and more potassium than a medium-sized banana. If you eat the skin, according to the National Potato Council. So it's a lot of nutrition in the skin. Mash or bake them. Turn them into hash browns and add them to shepherd's pie. There's a variety of filling potato recipes you can add to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So potatoes is definitely something that could help you save money when you're going through some type of economical situation that we often have to deal with a lot. Okay? A lot of times we have to deal with like crazy economical situations. And in this economy that's really looking funny, you need to know these foods and have these foods stocked in your pantry so you can still be able to eat healthy. Spinach. The thing about spinach, you can get the frozen spinach, save yourself a lot of headaches. This green leafy vegetable is easy to incorporate into a variety of meals. An easy way to bump up the nutrient value of nearly any meal is to add a couple handfuls of spinach. With spinach in the fridge, you can pull an affordable meal together in a flash. Spinach gives you a very high nutrient value for its price. It's an excellent source of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and manganese, and a good source of iron, riboflavin, and magnesium. So, like if you got some frozen spinach, I always buy my stuff fresh. But in hard economical times, if it started looking funny, I would fill my freezer up with frozen vegetables, and I would buy a bunch of canned vegetables straight up. You gotta roll with the situation. Canned tomatoes. Generally, you will get more bang for your buck by purchasing canned tomatoes instead of fresh, right? Canned tomatoes can be easily added to soups and stews to add flavor and to stretch the portions. They are also an essential ingredient in commonly prepared dishes such as spaghetti sauces and other pasta dishes. So canned tomatoes is going to save you too. These are things you got to start looking at under these circumstances that we're looking at right now. Things are a little funny. And as things get worse, more people are going to become vegan. Veganism is getting ready to grow like never before because people are going to realize that they can eat better and save money. This is why tofu and stuff like that come out of Asia. This is why so many vegetarians and vegans are in China, India, because they can save money. It's cheaper. Pork and beef and animal is expensive. And people just want to eat and get full. But in a lot of these places, they live to 100 years old. They live to 100 years old in many of these places in Asia and stuff like that because they're mostly plant-based. For real. So as this economy get worse, you need to be switching. You need to be switching anyway. You need to be switching to plant-based eating. You need to be really looking at your older relatives and taking it serious. When you get together this holiday season, look at the older people in the family and ask yourself, how are they doing? Just don't look at their age, but how are they moving? Are they healthy or are they just alive barely? Do they look like they're on a lot of medication? How many people at the family function is overweight? How many of the children are overweight? You got to start taking notice on what's going on. And you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do if this economy gets any worse, which is a high possibility by January and February if something magical don't happen. It's not looking well. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and the cost of living, it don't look like it's going down. It's just going up and up and up. The last thing you want to do is be sick. So for sure, there's going to be more vegans. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's going to be more vegans. No doubt. This is going to be the future. You can ignore it, but this is the future. And Black Americans are waking up. So don't you be one of the ones asleep. As you see here, yes, research shows that Black Americans are the fastest growing vegan demographic in the U.S. and are more likely to be vegan or vegetarian than other racial groups. Several factors drive this trend, including increased awareness of health disparities, connection to cultural heritage, social justice activism, and rising visibility of Black vegan voices. Okay? This is a fact. So don't be left out. Don't be left out. Because this is an absolute fact. And this is a growing trend. Whether you want to admit it or not. Our people is waking up because so many people are sick. And under this economy, I'm telling you right now, people are going to be eating more potatoes, beans, and rice, pasta, wheat. This is what people are going to be eating. People are going to be cutting back. They're going to be cutting back on the dairy products. They're going to be cutting back on the meat and the cheese. They're going to be trying to save money and look out for their health because healthcare is getting too expensive. And they're going to say, instead of healthcare, I need to take care of my health. So you gotta cancel healthcare, and you gotta take care of your health. If you take care of your health, you don't have to worry about healthcare. You're already doing healthcare. You're already caring for your health. It's your body. You got to take care of it. You got to start putting your body up on the same pedestal you put your car on. You don't mistreat your car. You don't pour no candy and cereal in your gas tank. You don't put no sugar in your gas tank. You put the right gas in there. You put the right oil in there. You put the right antifreeze in there. You put the right transmission fluid in there. Well, your body needs a certain oil, a certain transmission fluid, a certain type of gas. And your body was designed to be plant-based. I don't care what nobody tell you. Even the animals you eat don't eat animals. What that tell you? Cows is vegetarians. So listen, it's time to eat to live and don't live to eat. And it's really time to take care of yourself. Your health is all you got. And when times get hard, you can't afford to be getting sick. And we intelligent enough to know to not feed our babies the way, the elders before us was feeding us. We know that's wrong now. They didn't really know no better, especially foundational Black Americans. You should know. You know about what was going on in this country, and you know you ate whatever somebody gave you there. You wasn't in a position to eat the way you wanted to eat. You didn't even know how you wanted to eat. So now it's time to change all of that. And if you know anything about your grandparents or great grandparents, they was real heavy, right? They was real heavy on um, black eyed peas and sweet potatoes and collard greens and mustard greens and turnip greens and cabbage, and they was big on that. They was big on vegetables. Corn syrup is really not no good for you. The process and everything they do to it, you know, yeah, corn syrup is not necessarily no good for you like that. But if you was in a hard situation, you would still use it if you had to. All bets is off in a bad situation. In a bad situation, all bets are off. It's all survival. But you want to try to eat the best you can. And something like corn syrup, I don't think it'll hurt you if you're only using it every now and then. If you're using it sparingly, I don't think it would do nothing to you. Your body is strong, and using something sparingly really won't really do nothing to you. It's the constant use that really destroys the body. You know what I'm saying? And so it says here corn syrup is primarily made from cornstarch, which is broken down into a simple sugars and glucose through the process called hydrolysis. It also contains varying amounts of other sugars such as maltose and high oligosaccharides. Dark corn syrup may also contain other ingredients like molasses, caramel color, or inverted sugar. So if I had to use corn syrup, I would use dark corn syrup, right? But I don't see how, in an emergency situation, I don't believe corn syrup would be bad for you. Corn syrup is only bad because we use it all the time. It's in the candy, it's in too much stuff. A lot of these things, the only reason they're bad for us because we using them too much. So let's take rum or vodka. If you drink a shot of vodka or you drink a little vodka 3 times a year, 4 times a year, it ain't gonna do nothing to you. But if you're drinking vodka every day, every weekend, that's what do something to you. So a lot of the things that destroy us is because the amount that we use too much. So if you use too much, that's gonna be a problem. Like even black pepper, it said too much black pepper is not necessarily the best thing for your insides because it could start to gather and turn like into a stone. This is what some people saying, and you can end up with like kidney stone because you eating so much of it, it started to stick together in there. So a lot of elders, when I was coming up, the doctor took them off of black pepper because they was having kidney stone. So that's something I eat rarely to give it time to get out of my system. The same thing with salt. Like if you eat, sea salt or any type of salt, long as if you overdo it, it's still going to be a problem. But when you're in a 911 situation, it becomes like survival. Yeah, eat in moderation in survival. Now, if you're in a survival mood, you should be only eating the best stuff. So you shouldn't be using anything like corn syrup. You should be using like maple syrup or something like that when you're in the best situation. So if you're in a great situation, you should be eating high value. This is just information. If hard times hit, if economics hit and now you're on a budget, you got a wife, 2 children, and only so much money, and the money you got, you struggling to figure out how you gonna buy food for the month. How you gonna buy food every 2 weeks to make it to the next small paycheck based on how much your mortgage or your rent is and all that stuff. You understand? So you know what I mean? Even me, I use a lot of these foods a lot of time to cut back on my food bill. I use a lot of this stuff a lot of times, noodles and stuff like that. That's how I be cutting back on my food bill anyway. So I buy certain stuff like that anyway to cut back on my costs. Anyway, let's take a break and then we'll continue. Like these noodles. This is one way I cut back. Now these are really good. They come with a spice pack. They got seaweed and stuff in it. They come in a box. These are millet and brown rice noodles by Lotus Foods. Now, for me, these are the best noodles out. For me, they're the best. There's a couple other brands, but for me, these are the best in the market. I get this box from Amazon, and I can eat 2 packs of these, and I'm full. I'm good. Or I can just eat 1 pack because sometimes it's not about being full, it's just about not being hungry. So sometimes if you got to cut back, don't eat till you full, just eat till you're not hungry. Basically. So if it was a hard situation, I would just eat 1 pack. But these are really good. They got a packet inside. Now, this is something that I've tried, that I've ordered. And this is, right? This comes from Asia. This is Verisoy. And this is Taiwanese vegan beef slices. So this is Taiwanese vegan beef slices, but this is all plant-based. And what you do is you take these and you soak some of them in water. And after you soak them in water, then you get them and squeeze the water out, and they be soft and like rubbery, and you can use them like meat. And you can get a lot of food out of these using this in meals, because this bag, you can at least make 5 meals. You can use this in at least 5 meals, depending on how many people you feed. If you're feeding 4 people, you might can only use it in maybe 2 meals or 3 meals. But it's very inexpensive, and it's a great meat substitute for sure. No ifs, ands, and buts. I just tried it a couple of weeks ago. I got another bag in there that I opened. I think I ordered this off of Whole Foods too, because I mean off of Amazon too, because this comes from overseas, right? 13 grams of protein too, so I'm working out, so this is great. 13 grams of protein. You know what I'm saying? Well, 13 grams of protein, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So you want to cut back, you want to cut back in case of a failing economy. We definitely going to have more vegans if the economy is not doing well. But start spending your money wisely so you could get more food for your money. And things like rice, beans, potatoes, pasta, noodles, things like that, flour, bags of onions, peas, those type of things are going to stretch your meals so you'll be able to eat more. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things are going to stretch your meals, right? So for sure, as the economy keeps failing and failing, there is definitely going to be more vegans. More people are going to be cutting back. They're going to be looking for less expensive ways to eat and healthier ways to eat. You're going to have to eat much healthier, people. All right? That's what you're going to have to do. So, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And make sure you support the channel. I appreciate you watching. Take care of yourself. Make sure you eat right. No matter what nobody tells you, if you're struggling, just struggle with it and keep struggling to clean it up and eat right. All right? Because if you don't, you're going to pay later. Your body cannot take you consuming certain things year in, year out, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. And pay attention when you see all these people sick and look at them. You got to take care of yourself. You got to put food in there you can digest. You got to drink things that's good for your kidneys. You got to eat things that's good for your colon, good for your stomach, good for your heart, good for your eyes. You have to feed your organs healthy stuff. You just can't let your mouth put that stuff in your stomach just because your mouth chewing it up. But your mouth ain't got to deal with it. It's your body the one got to process this stuff. So try to put stuff in your body and make it easy for your body to process it. All right. So eat to live. Don't live to eat. And if you're trying to eat better, go to www.veganintel.com and get the easiest way to become a vegan. If you get that, that's going to help you transition. That's going to help you tremendously. Go to www.veganintel.com. Get the easiest way to become a vegan. And that is going to show you how to go step by step to clean it up so you can eat better. And that's something you definitely need to do. All right? You want to have a healthy life. V is for vegan and victory.